69 degrees on 6/9 here in Brunswick, Ohio, home of the Blue Devils, some of the top programs athletically in all of the GCC. But today it hosts our first Western Reserve Collegiate League game of the week between the 2-2 B2 Bulls and the 2-1 Premier Ohio, or the Premier Ohio Stallions, after the merger a couple years ago. I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this afternoon. We have some great baseball on hand, some of the brightest stars in all of local college baseball here today, as looking to make an impact in the Summer League, getting their preparations underway a little bit early for next year. Beat 2 will be the away team for Game 1. First pitch of the afternoon misses outside. We are underway at 1 o'clock exactly on the dot. On the bump today for Premier, it's Jacob Rocky, the upcoming senior over at Marietta. He's had an impressive run so far with them in Southern Ohio. So 1-1 count now on the first batter of the afternoon, Devin Morris. But Rocky's had a great progression, starting with a 9 ERA in 22, down to a 5.89 in 23, and this past season a 2.67 ERA with a 4-1 record, 32 Ks in just over 30 innings pitched, and 61 career Ks across 3 years. He's impressed so far down in Southern Ohio. Fouled off the catcher's head. Take this time to set the defense for Premier. Rocky on the bump, Ramos behind the dish, May over at 1, Patchett at second, Clavijo over at short, Hansey at third. From left to right in the outfield, Masiak, Amos, and Gaspar. The pitch from Rocky, chopped right off the batter. So you'll see it again. B2 played yesterday 2 tough games and 2 tough losses to the favorites to win the whole thing in Stark County. They have dominated since the league's inception and look to continue to do so down the stretch to the Stark County Athlete. We'll see them later on for one of our games of the week. Curveball to miss. It clips off the catcher. Don't know if the striker goes with the catch or not, but nonetheless, Rocky still some work to do on the first batter. In the on-deck circle is Carson Petrecka, the shortstop. So we have a full count to begin the afternoon. Rocky versus the batter Morris. The payoff pitch is low and in. The lead-off walk for Morris. Get B2 on the base path. And these kind of games is going to be about who gets out to a faster start. B2, they're going to need to try and score a run here in the first, as Premier has done an excellent job this year of pounding the runs on, averaging, I believe, just around 8 runs per game. Chop left side of the infield. This could be trouble for 2. The flip over to 2 is in time. The throw to 1 is wide right of the bag. They get the lead runner, but Petrecka reaches on a fielder's choice. So now with 1 away, up steps the designated hitter, Joey Trevisano. Trevisano, a grad student at Mercyhurst, went to Chardon High School and transferred into Mercyhurst from Marietta. Played 26 games this past year, batting .265 with 1 homer, 10 RBIs, and 5 stolen bags. Rocky will come set, keeping a close eye over at 1. Will deliver. Good hold in the box from Trevisano. A good miss from Rocky. It did just a little bit too much in the other batter's box. After Trevisano, the catcher Gamber will be up. The pitch from Rocky. Finds the corner, now 2-1. And this is not like what we saw in the prior games on Monday, the 16U, bunch of high school. No, this is college. They're used to these fast pitches. They're used to this kind of competitive nature that is college, as more than in high school. They're fighting for their careers, as many of them are looking just to get a pro contract wherever it is after they're done with their 4 years, or in some cases due to COVID, 5 or 6. Rocky checks first and delivers. Popped up foul to the left side and well out of play. Premier averaging just over 8 runs per game, as Pryorly said, averaging allowing just over 4 per game. 2-1 record, their only loss coming as well to Stark County. Their only 2 wins coming against the same team that B2 beat. And the Avalanche runner goes, and it'll be a walk. So 2 walks and a fielder's choice thus far for B2, but 2 on and 1 more importantly in scoring position. So now the catcher Gamber will be tasked with moving the runners over. He had a storied career back in high school at Mayfield, a 3-year letter winner in baseball and wrestling. And as a senior, helped Mayfield to just above 500 record, batting .341 with 17 ribbies, 5 doubles, and a homer. So he comes from a big baseball background, and why not add on to an already impressive career today? Shot foul to the right side, 0-1 count to begin this at-bat. Rocky will take a second on the mound to try and regather. 2 walks thus far. Still no hits for B2, but they look to change that on one swing of the bat. Runner goes to 3. Swing and a miss. The throw down 2-3 is not in time. It just beats the throw. It was a good effort from behind the dish via Ramos. Just couldn't get it in time. And now 2 in scoring position for B2. So now an 0-2 count on Gamber. Shane Roethlisberger, the second baseman, awaits in the on-deck circle. Anything hit to the outfield, especially in right, would most likely lead to a run. The 0-2 from Rocky. Foul to the right side. And already early on in the ball game, Blue is out of baseballs. Usually you'll see that later on in the game, second or third inning, usually the earliest you hear it. But in the first, a lot of foul contact. Not necessarily a bad thing. We still have an 0-2. Rocky trying to get out number 2. Lined up into center field and caught. Runner will tag from third. And it's going to be on the transfer, but nonetheless, actually they're going to say it's a drop ball, so everyone's safe. Confusion ever. There we go. We have the official confirmation. It's a drop ball on the transfer. It's 2-way, but more importantly, B2 is going to lead it 1-0. Just a simple sacrifice out to center field. So now as B2 leads it 1-0 with 2-away, up steps in Roethlisberger. Trevisano waits at third base, 90 feet away. Rocky will set and deliver. In the zone, now leaving it up. For Premier in the home half of the inning, Clavijo, Amos, and Maciak due up. B2 needed a fast start, and they got it with 1 run. Can they add a second? Cutting the other batter's box, retires Roethlisberger and the side alike. We go into the home half of the first. Premier has some work to do, down 1-0 to B2. Bottom one in Brunswick, B2 on the board, courtesy of a sacrifice fly to center field from Dylan Gamber. The catcher has us with a 1-0 ball game on hand in favor of the visitors. First pitch of the home half of the inning is fouled over the netting. It's a 0-1 count. The shortstop, Clavijo, Amos, the center fielder, and Masiak, the left fielder, all due up this inning for Premier Ohio as they look to get the run. They surrendered right back. On the mound today for B2, it's Zach Sullivan, the upcoming junior at Lakeland Community. Went to Menor High School and this past year played in 5 ball games. And a special thing with this summer league is you have a lot of the NDC players who are now looking for a new home given their school's closure at the end of last month. Chopped right up the gut. It gets through for a leadoff base hit. Clavijo, some nice hitting. He's 1 for 1 on the day, and that's the start Premier needs on the offensive end of things. It's simple hitting, just finding open spots in the defense. I would not be surprised to see a lot of ground balls just sneak right through. It was a chopper. It had a chance to go and be snagged over at short. Just where the shortstop, Petrecka, was playing, there was no contest on the ball. Chop to the left side. Is it playable? It's going to stay fair. It's a chop single down the left field line. I don't think Amos intended to do it, but nonetheless, it gets the job done. 2 hits in a row. It looked destined to go foul. You even saw the third baseman, Lambert, take a look at it and then kind of back off. But no, it just got a nice bounce off the grass and stayed to the right of the line. 2 on, none away, and now up steps Brady Masiak, the left fielder. The pitch misses outside. It's a 1-0 count to begin this at-bat. That's just a tough break for B2. You had a great top of the first inning, a leadoff base hit, and then the chopper add on to it. Basically a bunt single without applying the bunt. Now time will be called. Gamble will go and talk to Sullivan. Once again, stay tuned after this game for game 2 of the doubleheader, as these teams will definitely want to try and either A, sweep a series, or 2, get 1 game back. Once B2 is done playing today, they will have completed a 4-game weekend. And this is not a tournament league, so that's usually not seen. But still, to get 25, 30 games in, that realistically these teams play, you have to play a lot of games on weekends. 4 in a row to get some rest going on into their next game. As B2, after today, will have a nice little break and go on into next week off until June 17th at release, that game being played at Baldwin Wallace. It's a 1-1 here on Masiak. Catcher steps up outside. Delivery is in, but low. So now a 2-1. The on-deck circle after Masiak is Zach Gaspar, the right fielder. Sullivan will set, checks over, and deals. Left field, it goes in the gap for a base hit. Rounding and attempting to score is Clavijo. There is no contest at home. Premier ties it up with a double courtesy of Brady Masiak. Talk about a momentum swing. Just moments ago, it was a 1-0 game with B2 looking for their second. Now it's a 1-1 ball game. No one down and 2 in scoring position. But once again, as I said on the base hit to begin the game, expect to see a lot of balls hit up the middle. It went into that left center field gap. It found the sweet spot. And now another lefty, and Gasper steps in and has a chance to find the same exact location. And down will be called in the box by Gasper, the right fielder. Gaspar, a senior at Shawnee State, went to Strongsville, so he knows this Blue Devil field better than most. Only players who know it better are the Blue Devils, who are in this game themselves. Played in 46 games this past season, batting .260 with 7 homers, 37 ribbies, and 7 stolen backs. So he really impressed this last campaign. Those 7 homers have to scare B2 with the prospect of adding 3 more runs onto the board. It'd be very difficult to come back from early on. Runs inside. Does it clip him? No. The runner will stay put at 3. But still, it's a 1-1 ball game. One swing of the bat, for better or worse for Premier, can change the trajectory of the ball game. There's going to be a lot of early changes in these games. You can't read too much into the first 5 or 6 at-bats. If Premier did so, they'd be down on themselves right now. Instead, no one away, 2 in scoring position, and in the driver's seat to take the lead with 1 poke into the outfield, whether it be an out or a base hit, leading to a lead for them. The 2-1 count on Gaspar, the right fielder. It would then go to Patchett, the second baseman, who's in the on-deck circle. The pitch, curveball, misses the spot. It's a 3-1. Patchett, no strangers to RBIs. He had 12 this past college season. He might have a chance to bat in 3 batters or runners, and they clip the corner on that pitch. Maybe a little bit outside on, but nonetheless, a good get-right pitch for Sullivan. He's trying to compete and get out number 1. It's a full count, so it's a big pitch. It's either 1 away for B2, or they'll have to work with the bases loaded and none away. Catcher sets up outside. The payoff, shot right side, foul. All he had to do, just make some contact. Survive to see another pitch. If it's a strike, you have to make contact. Gaspar, no stranger to RBIs, no stranger to big hits. The payoff, once again, runs inside, and he will take his base. The first 4 reaching base for Premier. The base is juiced now for the 5-hitter, Jeremy Patchett. Now would not be a bad time at all for a mound visit for B2. The catcher already went and talked to Sullivan moments ago. But if this does some damage, then by all means, take a mound visit, reset your pitcher, and go and focus on the next batter. Runs inside, a nice snag behind the dish from Gamber to keep it in front. It's a 1-0. As I mentioned before, Patchett, no stranger to RBIs, had 12 this past year. The pitch. Runs inside once again. It's a 2-0 count. It's time for a get-right pitch. You don't want to give him a gift down the middle. This isn't Little League where you throw down the middle. The worst that's going to happen is a double in the gap. This is college. If it's down the middle, there's some houses out there that look pretty nice and could use a baseball in the front lawn. Runs inside, 3-0. On that pitch, it looks like more of anything, it's just a footing issue on the mound. So the 3-0 count, Patchett looking to draw a walk and walk home the go-ahead run. The delivery, curveball, misses the spot. 4 balls in a row leads to Premier, taking a 2-1 lead as Amos trots on in. All it took was simple patience in the box. Didn't try to do anything crazy. Didn't try and swing out of his shoes, make something happen that wasn't there. And now you see on the mound just a little bit of talking to from the shortstop. Maybe stomping a little bit on the bump as well. Just trying to even it out, as from our angle, it looks pretty good, but you can't tell. Maybe the bottom spot where he lands, his right foot is weird. Now that pitch looked better. It's a 1-0. But it looks like, if anything, it's just footing. Now, Edward Ramos, the other catcher, steps in the box for his first cuts. Ramos went to Lutheran West High School and had an RBI in this past season. He's an upcoming sophomore at Siena Heights University. 2 balls, the pitch. Misses upstairs. So after Ramos, it would go then to Drew Harvey, the designated hitter. Sullivan in desperate need of a get-right pitch, just needs the strike call. And he gets it. It's a nice job to find the corner and settle back in. He'll look to ride that momentum. And now some action in the B2 bullpen. The delivery. Misses upstairs. So once again, a walk will result in a run. Make it now a 3-1 game in favor of Premier. So now time will be called, as B2 will have a mound visit to talk things over. So we'll step aside for the time being. It's a 3-1 ball game in favor of Premier here on our game of the week in the Western Reserve Collegiate League. Back on after the mound visit here in Brunswick. It's a 3-1 ball game. Premier taking the lead here in the home half of the first. Every batter who has stepped in the box has reached. First pitch inside, a 1-0 count to begin this at bat on Drew Harvey, the designated hitter. Harvey, you can kind of see the maroon on your screen from his batting helmet. That gives away he is a Cavalier from Walsh. Played at this field for high school, so he is no stranger to it. Got in one ball game last year as a freshman. So he is the 7th batter for Premier to hit this inning. Sullivan clips the corner, get right pitch for him. And all that Coach Garcia really needed to say in that mound visit was, just settle in. You're here for a reason. Pitch the way you know how to pitch. It's skied in the infield over towards the right side. Roethlisberger gets underneath it and sees it in the glove for out number 1, the first Premier Ohio batter to be retired this afternoon. It takes 1 to get to 2 and 3. So that has to be the mentality of B2. And now up steps Hansey, the third baseman, in for his first cuts. The sophomore at Worcester went to Norway High School and played in 9 games this past year, batting .211 with 1 RBI. Left side of the infield, 6, 4, 3, double play. B2 gets out of the jam with no more damage. The mound visit does wonders. End of 1 in Brunswick. Premier Ohio leads it 3-1. Top of the second inning here in Brunswick. Premier out to an early 3-1 lead over the B2 Bulls. If you're just tuning in, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this afternoon. Just a quick recap of the first inning. Things started off well for B2. A leadoff walk leading them to a fielder's choice. A couple stolen bags and walk later. A sacrifice fly from Dylan Gamber opened the scoring for B2, gave them a 1-0 lead heading into the home half of the inning, where Premier dominated from then forward with the first, I believe it was 6 batters reaching in the order of single, double, walk, walk, giving them a 3-1 lead, taking us to where we are now with Dylan Skidmore in the box. Jacob Rocky still on the mound for Premier. He looks to have a good outing. As I mentioned in the first inning, he has just improved every year he's been at Marietta, and a good summer could propel him into contention for OAC Pitcher of the Year. if he can then use what he learns in this experience and use it in the conference next year. It's a tough conference, but it gets a little bit easier. John Carroll leaving it. The pitch from Rocky. Curveball misses outside and upstairs. So the full count here on the center fielder, Jalen Sanders. The additional hitter waits on deck. The payoff pitch from Rocky. Left side it goes. It's playable. It can drop and does. So we will see the 3-2 once again. Skidmore, a sophomore at Mercyhurst, went to Normandy High School. Did not get to see him play, which is kind of surprising given that I'm a Holy Name kid, but still nonetheless did not get to see him play baseball for the Invaders at all. But still, from what I've seen and just given the nature of the league, he's a good player. The 3-2 count, the payoff once again from Rocky. Freezes him on the outside corner for strike 3. That's his second K of the ball game. It's 1 up, 1 down at the top of the second for Premier's defense. There may be no better feeling as a pitcher to get strike 3 called in the outside corner, especially when the batter looks to be ready to toss the bat and jog to first. It's a great feeling, and Rocky has it. He deals again. We have 1-0 count to begin this at-bat on Jalen Sanders. Sanders, a junior at, I believe it is Potomac State, went to Solon High School, so another Northeast Ohio kid. Currently in the transfer portal, played 25 games last year, batted .311 with 10 RBIs and 3 stolen bags. Wherever he ends up is lucky to get a good bat in him, who might not have the most RBIs or most stolen bags, but can definitely play. Kind of think Luis Arise, who's just a great hitter. Single, double. Necessarily did not have the RBIs, but there's a reason why he's one of the best hitters in all of MLB. Chop left side of the infield, Clavijo. Trucks cross diamond, it's not in time. It's an infield single for Jalen Sanders, who has a little bit more film to add to his highlight reel. Might not be the most glorious hit, but it's a hit nonetheless. That's where you need speed in the lineup, and Sanders gives that. Could he try and steal? We'll see. And now up steps Jacob Barker, the first baseman. Barker, a sophomore at NDC. We'll get to him in a minute. So 0-1 count to begin this at-bat. Went to Chardon, WRC Player of the Year back in high school, along with Division I All-District News Herald All-Star, first team in high school. That was his high school accolades. His college accolades, and well, his family accolades, might be even more impressive. His father is a man that Cleveland is very grateful for, Len Barker. If you remember where you were on May 15, 1981, first off, you're a lot older than me because I was born in 2005. But second of all, you remember where you were when the last time the Indians had a perfect game, and it was this guy's father who threw it. That's the impressive thing. He was a coach over at NDC for many years. So he is one of 2 players in this ball game who has a very famous dad in the Northeast Ohio area. The other one plays for Premier in Zolrunas Agauskas' kid, David Agauskas. Runner goes the pitch, hit to the right side, and foul to the trees. But it's interesting looking at both cases of David Agauskas and Jacob Barker. Their dads, both professional athletes, one for the Indians at the time, the other for the Cavs. Agauskas went the route opposite of his father and played baseball, while Barker went in his father's footsteps and played baseball. He's a first baseman, but not a pitcher like his dad. It's kind of interesting to look at the way that works. But definitely it goes to his advantage to have a dad who was as good of a pitcher as Barker was. He knows what's inside the mind of a pitcher, and that can really help a batter. Throwback to 1, not in time. The slide back from Sanders does the job. After Barker goes to Kirk Lambert, the third baseman. Rocky keeps a close eye over at Sanders and delivers. Swing and a miss. It's a second K in a row this inning. His 3rd overall. 2-way now in the home half, or the top of the second. Now up steps Kirkland Lambert, the third baseman. Another player on these 2 teams who goes to Mercyhurst. He's a sophomore there with the Jefferson area and played baseball and football. Could not confirm if he was on that Final Four team back in the 2022 season that ended their year against Glenville in a blowout. But still, that was a great year for Jefferson area in football. They were the shock story of the year. This past year, a rough campaign, 0-10. They look to bounce back this year, starting in the fall. The pitch from Rocky. Did he go? Yes, he did. So Lambert looks to move Sanders along, the only player on this B2 team with a hit today. The pitch from Rocky. Misses off the plate. So 1-1 count. Due up next inning for Premier, it's May, Fleming, and Clavijo, the shortstop. The pitch from Rocky. Swing and a miss. Gets him to cut. He's down to his final strike. Rocky's been able to beat him with off speed and speed alike. It's a 1-2 count. Rocky looking to get out of the inning. He has 3 Ks so far. Almost had his 4th, just misses off the plate. An excellent spot. That's about as close to a strike as you could physically be without it being a strike. That's a good miss. But I don't mind the pitch regardless. He could have chased. It's a 2-2. The delivery. Runner goes. It's inside. It bounces off the catcher Ramos's glove. It's a stolen bag for Sanders. And now he's in a scoring position, so one swing of the bat can change things. It was 1-2. Now it's full. It's a payoff pitch upcoming for Rocky. He looks to get out of the inning with some urgency. The runner behind him. The sun completely blocked out. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. He gets him to cut. All 3 retire this inning. Come courtesy of a K from Jacob Rocky, who has 4 thus far. Middle of 2 in Brunswick. Premier leads it 3-1. Back on here in the home half of the second inning in Brunswick. Premier leads at 3-1 and are back at the sticks looking to add on to their lead. And as well, today is the final day, I believe, of the OHSAA 2023-2024 school year / athletic year, as the baseball championships are happening this afternoon in Akron. Congrats to the West Branch Warriors, I believe, winning their first ever state title 3-2 this morning. They had a tough road to get there. They ended up beating Baden in a great game. Baden had a great game on Friday as well, I believe, for hitting the Padua Bruins. We'll give you score updates as soon as we know the results of the following games. I believe the big one is tonight, where Twinsburg will take on, I believe it is Mason, who made it there. Sullivan delivers. It's in the dirt and just going to get to the backstop. So in the box for Premier is the first baseman, May. Lost my paper there for a second. A little bit of wind today, just a little bit of wind. The pitch from Sullivan, chopped out of the left side. Now that I have my notes back, May, here we go. Sophomore at Lake Erie College. A lot of information on him. Went to Riverside High School. First team all Western Reserve Conference back in 2022. Led Riverside to back-to-back conference championships in that year, along with 2023. 3-year letter winner, captain, and 2-year letter winner for football and conference champion in 2022. Part of one of the greatest teams in Riverside Painesville football history. Ground ball too short, scoop at 1. is there. An excellent scoop by Barker over at first route number 1. It was a good throw by Petraka. He was kind of tailed off to an awkward spot to throw, but nonetheless made the play. There it is. Barker's making big plays in Northeast Ohio. Saw that in 1981 and seen that today. Now here comes Reed Fleming, usually number 5, but now number 16. RIP to his jersey that is in Columbus. That was a story I was at least given before the game. Still interesting, but nonetheless gets him a new jersey. He is still ready to go. He's a junior at Baldwin Wallace, went to Pick North High School. Pick North, one of the best teams in a clustered Columbus area. All the teams in that area are usually really good. Pick North, Pick Central, you got Westerville out there as well. A lot of good teams in that Columbus area. And just another example of it. Played in 27 games this past year, batting .133 with 3 RBIs and 1 stolen bag. But don't let that 133 fool you. To be in that BW lineup, you have to be elite, as BW is one of the best programs in all of Division III. They made it to the World Series last year and had a chance to make it far this past year. As I believe at one point in the polls, they were the #1 team, not only in the OAC, not only in Northeast Ohio, not only in Ohio, but in all of Division III up there with John Hopkins. To walk for Fleming, so we go back to the top of the lineup, the shortstop Clavijo, 1 for 1 on the day with a base hit up the gut thus far. He will look to move the runner along. Clavijo plays his baseball down in Tennessee, went to Mill Creek High School, and had 1 at-bat in the college year. Lines out of the right field, the throw to 1 is wide, but the play is made by Barker, who extends, makes 2 excellent plays at first base for 2 big putouts as B2 gets out of the inning unscathed. End of 2 in Brunswick. It's a 3-1 lead for Premier. Top of 3 here in Brunswick. B2 trailing 3-1 against Premier, Ohio. If you're just tuning in, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this afternoon. Jacob Rocky picked up right where he left off at Marietta in the 2024 season and has pitched well thus far, only allowing the 1 run in the first, but since then he has had 4 Ks among 5 batters, with the only outlier being that infield single for Jalen Sanders, who just did exactly what he needed to do, outpace the throw. So Rocky looks to continue to deal and continue to prepare himself for the upcoming college year. Still a long ways away, but it's college. And you play a college sport, your sport is year-round. The pitch from Rocky. Right field it goes. It's going to be caught over at 1. It just died before hitting the grass. It left the bat, and then all the momentum was sucked out of it. It's 1 up, 1 down as May records the putout. After that, now we go back to the top of the lineup. Devin Morris walked his first time up to begin the game. Rocky deals, left side it goes, and out of play. Morris, another one of these players who right now is looking for a new home went to Archbold High School in Ohio, but currently at transfer portal due to the closure of Notre Dame College. Only a sophomore upcoming this year. Played 40 games last year, batting .269 with 1 home run, 13 RBIs, and 4 stolen bags. So him, like Sanders, looking to put some good tape out there and try to get picked up by a college. With those kind of stats in those kind of games, I feel like that's a good case that he can get picked up. Lined over to second base, hit had plenty of power, but right into the glove of Patchett for out number 2. Nothing more you can say. It was beautifully hit, had plenty of power, but unfortunately when you hit it right over to second base, 9 times out of 10 the put-out will be recorded. Patchett, good job to him, not overcomplicating the play. It's an interesting contrast going from the first 2 innings to now. Rocky was more of a strikeout pitcher. The way that he pitched kind of lended itself to that with the walks and just where he was putting the ball. Now he's going more inside, attacking that inside corners. He gets the call this time around, but he's moved things closer in the plate. He's forced contact and has gone away from the strikeouts as of right now, with so far giving him a pop out over to 1 and the line out to 2. So still the batters are late on it with the ball going to the right side. But nonetheless, he can still add a K on to this already impressive inning for the Premier defense. The delivery. Chop to the right side, goes on over to second base. Patchett boots it. It'll be an E4, and Petreka, the shortstop, will reach with 2 away and give B2 some life on the base path. So now it'll go to Joey Trevisano, the designated hitter. Stolen bag and a walk to his name thus far this afternoon. For Premier in the home half of the inning, Amos Masiak, who had that RBI double back in the first, and Gaspar, who walked back then, all up in the home half of the frame. Rocky will come back set, keeps a close eye over at 1 and delivers. Off the bat awkwardly, back up to the pitcher. Pitcher fielding play, retires the side. Only 1 gets on courtesy of an error. It's the middle of 3 here in Brunswick. It's a 3-1 lead for the home team Premier. Amos, Masiak, and Gaspar due up in the home half of the third. For Premier, they're up 3-1 over the B2 Bulls in game 1 of 2 of this doubleheader on Western Reserve Collegiate League games of the week. I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this afternoon. If you're just tuning into this ball game, all the damage done thus far in the ball game happened back in the first inning where combined 4 runs were scored. That has gotten us to where we are now with a 3-1 advantage for the home team. Some runners have gotten on for both teams, but good defense from both sides across the last 3 half innings has pretty much eliminated the offense. The furthest a runner has gotten since, I believe, was over to second base. Sullivan, after a rough start of the game, has settled back in and has found his groove. No more action in the B2 bullpen as of right now, but we'll see if whoever it was in the pen gets back warm soon. And as well, in this game, you have to keep in mind two things if you're B2. One, you need pitching to go into the second game. The other thing you got to keep in mind is, who did you pitch yesterday in the doubleheader? You have to have an arm available. And it's a leadoff walk for Premier as Amos draws it, so he reaches for the second time today. First time courtesy of a single. Now Brady Masiak, last time he was up, he made an excellent play, hitting it to left center field. An RBI double opened the scoring for the home team. Looks to do it again. Sullivan will set and deliver. Misses low, it's a 1-0 count. Masiak played in 50 games this past year for Walsh, batted .318 with 27 RBIs and 4 stolen bags. Misses upstairs this time, so does the polar opposite. It's a 2-0 count. The on-deck circle after Masiak, it's Zach Gaspar, the right fielder. Throwback 2-1, and he is not in time, no tag applied. Last inning, Barker did a nice job flashing the leather, had an excellent scoop for out number 1, and did a nice job to get the ball from right field for out number 3. The runner easily on into second base. That's an excellent jump from him over at first base. Timed up Sullivan's move perfectly, and Amos is gifted second. At the collegiate level, getting steals is about every little detail going to plan, and that's just a perfect example of it. Knowing the cadence of the pitcher and taking advantage of it. Sullivan will keep a closer eye on Amos this time around. Misses on Masiak outside this time around. The 3-1 count here on the power hitter. Sullivan looking for his first out of the inning. He deals. Ground ball hit to the right side. Roethlisberger gets it on the scoop, throws to Barker. It's in time for out number 1. But nonetheless, Masiak does his job. Amos 90 feet away from making this a 4-1 ball game. Now Gaspar walked his first time up. He steps back into the box for his second cuts of this afternoon's doubleheader. And for Premier right now is when they want to win their games. They need this homestand to go well, as they are home for this game and then the next 4 after it. They don't play an away game until the end of the month. So you have to figure, with driving out to the likes of Avalanche, who play on the borderline, going out to Thurman Munson to go play against Stark County, those kind of teams, it's going to take a lot on you as a traveler to go those far distances. Yes, college prepares you for it, but in most of these cases, they haven't made those far team trips in over a month. So you might have some of that kind of fatigue. You see it even in the high school game where it's a far drive for teams. They play rough. Nice block behind the dish by Gamber. Keeps a runner over at third. There is some action lightly in the bullpen for Premier. Would be surprised to see them change arms at this point in the game. You're up 3-1. Your pitcher is out there pitching some of his best baseball. Leave him in. Curveball runs inside, doesn't clip the corner. But it's a doubleheader. You can pitch whoever you want in the second game. You're playing to try and win that game at that point. This time you're trying to play and win both. Losing them outside. Sullivan trying to vary up his location a lot more this inning. Has missed up, down, left, and right. The pitch. Curveball just misses. It's a good miss at that. But nonetheless, Gaspar does his job and draws his second walk of the ball game. And now Jeremy Patchett, the second baseman, an RBI walk, his first time up. He steps back into the box. Once again, stay tuned after this game as we will have game 2 of this doubleheader. As of right now, Premier will look to sweep it. And as of right now, B2 looking to even it up. Sullivan checks over the back shoulder and delivers. Swing and a miss. It's in the dirt. Some good drop on the ball to no one count. Patchett's job right now is simple. It's pretty similar to what we had back in the first inning. This time, it's just one out. Your job is move the runner along. Runner goes, foul away. If you can hit the ball in the outfield and get Amos to be able to tag from 3, your job is done. Even if you're put out for out number 2, you're still doing your job if a run scores. Patchett's job is simple. Get an RBI on the board for Premier and extend the lead and give your pitching staff some breathing room. And that is some breathing room for the pitching staff. It's an RBI single for Jeremy Patchett, who extends Premier's lead 4-1. That's some good hitting. Pulled it into that left center field spot. And now Premier, they have 3 runs to work with. But as a pitcher, the best feeling besides getting a call third strike and having the batter almost toss his bat thinking it's a walk is having some insurance. It makes you be able to pitch with less pressure. You can experiment. Rocky now can probably go deeper in his arsenal if he wants to mess around with some kind of pitches that he really hasn't thrown because it's a close game. He can now, as he has a 3-run lead. 3 runs a lot more difficult to come back from than 2. 2 is usually that sweet spot where if you're up by 2 going into a team's last cut, you think, okay, they have a very good chance to come back. 3, it's a little more out of reach. I feel like that might be the biggest gap in all of baseball that isn't from 0 to 1 in runs. 2 to 3, it's a big difference. The delivery. Curveball skips to the right of the catcher, Gamber. Everyone's safe all the way around. 2 are in scoring position. Reading the down angle. It doesn't stop in high school. It's still preached in the college game. And now another run 90 feet away from scoring. Ramos, his job still remains a poke. And you do your job and give your team an even bigger lead. Sullivan will deal. Curveball clips the corner, does a nice job to hit his spot. The 2-2 count here, still 1 away. Sullivan will set. Now the delivery. Swing and a miss is in the dirt. It's a drop third. Throw down 2-1 is in time for out number 2. That is a big time for Sullivan to get a K. So that, I believe, is his first of the ball game. And as well, we're going to take a quick second here and talk about what just happened on that play as well. Is not really seen, but the catcher took a look down the third base line, made sure the runner wasn't trying to break for home and try and pull anything. And because of that simple move, the runner stays on over at third. A similar thing happened last night in the Guardians game. I believe Jose Ramirez did something similar, looked over the runner at second, kept him honest, and he went back over to 1. It isn't something that coaches say just for saying it. It's things that are applied at the major league level and still being applied in this game. It's the little things. When the skills are this good, it's 1 or 2 simple mistakes or simple things done right that are going to make an impact and basically decide the winner of these ball games. And obviously, of course, there are still going to be those examples where you have an 11-1 ball game and it's just because the other team is simply better. In most cases, that doesn't happen. Now, Stark County might be the exception to that rule as they have looked dominant this year. Dominant, as they've really only had 1 or 2 close games and are well on their way to another league title. And that will load the bases as it's a walk. Harvey does his job to draw it, and now Jay Hansey steps back up. So time is called. We could have a call for the bullpen as B2's coach will go on out and speak to his pitcher, Sullivan. Coach Garcia will indeed make the call to the bullpen. We will step aside. Premier up 4-1 in the home half of the third. The call to the bullpen for B2 brings in Matt Brown as he will go and try and close things out in the third inning and get B2 back at the sticks. His first pitch is low. It's a 1-0 count. Brown, a senior at Walsh, went to Rootstown High School and transferred in to Walsh from Notre Dame College. His second pitch of the game, swing and a miss. A cut upstairs from Hansey evens it up. Last time that the third baseman was in the game hitting is a 6-4-3 double play for the B2 Bulls defense. They would gladly take a ground ball in this scenario if the base is loaded and an out anywhere. 2-1 count now. May due up next. If this ball can find the gap, then Premier will definitely be in the driver's seat if they aren't already to win this ball game handily. Finds the corner, 2-2 Brown. Perfect location. Now one big pitch away from getting out of the jam. B2, they need to get this out and keep it a 3-run ball game. Here comes a 2-2 from Brown. Left field, it goes in, caught over at shortstop. An excellent snag by Petreka to keep the game at 4-1. That is a huge play, and now can B2 turn that defensive web gem into some offense? We'll find out in the top of the fourth. Top four here in Brunswick. Premier leads it 4-1 over the B2 Bulls. Rocky has had an excellent game on the bump so far for Premier and looks to continue it here as we're around the halfway point of the ball game. After this half inning, we will be officially halfway done with game number 1. For B2, Gamber, Roethlisberger, and Skidmore due up this inning. Gamber had that RBI back in the first. That's his only real involvement of the game thus far, besides obviously calling the pitches and framing them behind the dish. Rocky looking for his 5th K of the ball game. An excellent pitch in the zone gets him one pitch closer. Rocky, as we've said this whole broadcast, has just done an excellent job throughout his time in college, making the most of every opportunity he's been given, learned from his struggled freshman year, and has really improved now to a sub-3 ERA in the OAC. Like I said earlier, if he can pitch like this in college, I feel like he has a very good chance to be up for OAC Pitcher of the Year. And that's coming from a Mount Union kid. The pitch from Rocky misses outside. B2 definitely needs to use the momentum of that web gem from Petreka over at shortstop that ended the third inning outright. If he didn't make that play, it's a 6-1 ball game right now, and Premier would still be up the bat. And now it's a leadoff walk for Gamber. So this inning just begins the same way as the first did. Back in that first inning, B2 put a run on the board. They're going to try and do it again. Now Shane Roethlisberger, the second baseman, up for the second time. We will also have a courtesy runner here for the catcher. So it'll be Trevisano to go and run, as he is the designated hitter and also the last out. So okay, one of two things leading to him being the runner called upon. Swing and misses, an 0-1 count to begin this at-bat on Roethlisberger. His job is simple, move the runner along. B2, they know it. They don't need to get every single run back right now. They need to get one though. They have a runner on with none away. They need him to move along. It's an 0-2 count. Roethlisberger still just missing. Rocky still a little bit too much. And still some action in the bullpen for Premier. We'll try and get a look to see who it is in a moment. The 0-2, swing and a miss, gets him on 3. The back pick not in time, but Rocky now has 5 Ks on the afternoon and has 1 away to work with now. It is Nero, the sophomore at Walsh, in the bullpen for Premier. But a nice pitch from Rocky got him to swing all 3 times he offered. As a pitcher, that's what you need. And now up steps the lefty Skidmore, the center fielder. Runner goes, the throw down is not there. The tag just missed him. Clavijo tried calling for the play, just missed the tag barely. A good little bit of base running nonetheless from Trevisano. You can definitely hear it was playful. It wasn't anything crazy. Not arguing calls. It just being in the moment and enjoying some summer baseball in beautiful Northeast Ohio. A back pick to 2. It's high. It's very rare that play works out, but we've seen it once already in our summer coverage to end a game, actually. It was NMC Reitenbach. It was their catcher, Brady Eckert, did a play very similar to that, and it ended up working perfectly, ending that first game. Rocky keeps checking over that back shoulder and will deliver again, foul away to the left side. But Trevisano did his job perfectly. That was an instance of, okay, 1 down, 1 less out to work with. I need to make something happen, and he did just that and got into second base. He's in scoring position. There's 2 strikes on Skidmore, yes, but if he can get a good bit of the ball on that barrel, he can easily change the game. But still, credit to Ramos behind the dish. Even though the throwback didn't work, he's still very active behind and is just trying to make a play happen. That's exactly what you need your catcher to do. Be active in the game and know the scenario. You're up by 3, yes, but you want to make sure you keep it that way. Pitch from Rocky, swing and a miss, swings out of his shoes at the drop third. Ramos will not throw, so Skidmore will reach. Nonetheless, that's the 6K of the afternoon from Rocky. But opposed to it being 2 away, it's only 1. So now the job right now for Sanders is take advantage of the error. 1 for 1 with a stolen bag already. He has done his job before in this game. He needs to do it again. Swing and a miss. It's a 0-1 count. Rocky once again changing his philosophy. He is definitely challenging these players. It's been too much speed. Sanders will take a second here, as I said before, in the transfer portal, looking to get some good film out there for some colleges to find him a home for the next year. Rocky will set. Now the pitch. It's popped up in the infield. It could be an infield fly. And caught by Clavijo over at short for out number 2. I believe the infield fly was in effect regardless. That's a big out to get nonetheless for Premier. And now it goes up to Jacob Barker. Barker has the clutch gene. He definitely does, given like what I said about his dad, having that perfect game for the Tribe back in the 80s. It's time for some more magic from that family in Northeast Ohio, potentially for B2. Delivery from Rocky. And out of play. Just needs to get a little bit more barrel on that ball and straighten it out. There's plenty of power on it. If he can do so, he technically would be the tying run in this ball game. Right now, however, for B2, you're just focusing on making this a 2-run ball game. Nothing crazy, not trying to reinvent the wheel. Just get a run on the board going into the home half of the inning. And now an 0-2 count on Barker. And that was the pitch to make something happen. Rocky gave him something to hit. It just dipped at the last moment. Another good pitch from Rocky, who's looking for his 7th K of the ball game. He will set once again. Runner thinking about moving. He's dancing. The pitch. Misses outside. Ramos will hold. Thought about the back pick. Still a two-way. I like that he's being active. You never want to make the last out at second or third on a base running error. You never want to make that error. Ramos trying to force that to happen. The runner over at second base, Trevisano trying to get a jump. The pitch misses outside. Now we have a 2-2 count. But credit to Barker for not being overly zealous at swinging at the ball, for lack of a better term. 0-2 count, could easily try to chase that one. Instead has been patient and has worked it to a 2-2 count. Rocky will deal. Runner goes right down the pipe for strike 3. That's the 7th K of the ball game for Jacob Rocky, and it gets Premier out of a jam. Middle of 4 in Brunswick. Premier leads it 4-1. Home half of the 4th here in Brunswick. Premier leads it 4-1 and did a good job to get out of the jam in the top half of the inning. Brown, if you're just tuning in, came on into the ball game in place of Sullivan last inning and faced one batter and retired him. This time around, the inning begins with a hit by pitch, so May will take his hard 90. So now Reed Fleming, the additional hitter, will step in for his second cuts. Reach on a walk his first time up. B2 just trying to keep this game at a 3-run deficit for now before they can get back up to the sticks. They right now have 9 outs to work with. Brown will come set. The delivery misses just barely. It'll be a 1-0 count to begin this at-bat. Top of the lineup, 2 up next for Premier. Still all but one of the runs of this ball game coming back in the first. Throw back to one is not in time. Been a lot of movement from pitchers and catchers alike, just trying to catch runners sleeping over at first and second primarily, but no success yet today. The only real, if you want to call it a success in that scenario, would be the double play from right field. That was a 9-3 double play. Might be the first time ever that has been scored that way. The delivery from Brown, fouled right into the netting. Once again, stay tuned after this game for game 2 of the doubleheader, as it will be a big game for the league, as both of these teams need some wins going into this next stretch. B2 0 for 2 so far on the weekend, but against the best team in the league, there's only so much you can do, as Stark County has been a dominant force so far. It's a blooper in the right field, and it falls in for a base hit. Nice bit of hitting from Fleming, gets the job done. So now we go back to the top of the order with Jacob Clavijo, who had a base hit his first time up, and then had that unfortunate double play his second time up. So Premier doing nicely here in the fourth, has their first 2 runners aboard. Looking to have a third runner aboard and hopefully score the first runner. Left field it goes. It's a base hit just over the third baseman's head. The third base coach will hold the runner. It's bases loaded and none away for Premier as Clavijo does it again. He is 2 for 3 now in the afternoon. Does his job. It didn't have the most power, but still finds some left field grass. And now with the bases juiced, Jack Amos, who's 1 for 1 with a walk, a stolen bag, and a base hit, steps up for his third cuts. If there was ever a time for Premier to blow the game wide open, it is now. The pitch from Brown. Runs inside, kept in front by the catcher Gamber. It's a 1-0 count. 4B2 in the 5th. Lambert, Meacham, and Morris due up. Brown will set. Now the pitch. Finds his own. It's a get-right pitch. He'll even it up. B2's task right now looks to be nearly impossible, but yet this is baseball. The impossible can be made possible with a couple good plays. Now a 2-1 count here on Amos. All he needs to do is be patient here. If he doesn't like anything he sees, don't swing. Try and bait the walk, get a run home that way. If it's a good pitch, take advantage of it and give it a ride. This is upstairs, now a 3-1 count. B2 right now is in danger of walking home a run. This will be the 3rd time today they have walked home one if it happens. Ground ball, left side goes to short. The fall there gets at 1. But the 1 out is all B2 will get. It's an RBI nonetheless for Jack Amos to give Premier the 5-1 lead. Shortstop just tried to turn 2, slipped when he got rid of the ball. He did well, though, however, to get the 1 out. And now after the RBI, up steps Masiak, who had a double his first time up. Runner goes, the throw down, runner will take home. The play at 2 is in time. The throw out tag is made. So a nice job behind the dish from Gamber, but it sacrifices a run in the process. Bases clear with 2-way. It's a 6-1 ball game. So now 1-0 count. Actually, they're going to say safe over at second. The pitch. Foul just misses the glove. So 1-1 count here on Masiak. 4B2, Lambert, Meacham, and Morris once again due up in the 5th. The delivery. Misses inside. And B2 will send another pitcher out to the bullpen to warm up. Once again, B2 has to be careful. They don't want to run through all the pitchers they have on staff, as this will be the 4th and final game they play of the weekend. This is the 3rd, and then the next one is the 4th. On deck for Premier is Gaspar, who has been consistent. 2 walks. Brown will come set, checks over at 2 and delivers. It's skied. It might be playable. It definitely is playable over at 3 and caught in foul territory for out number 2. A nice job by Lambert to get under it. Now 2 away, Gaspar, he will step in for the 3rd time today. The wind once again picking up here in Brunswick, as that has been a factor throughout this ballgame. The sun has come and gone, the wind has come and gone. Just a lot of variance in the weather, as right now it's actually a little bit chilly. Brown will set and deliver. Runs inside, gets past Gamber, behind him to his right, and now the 7th run of the ball game is 90 feet away from scoring. Premier doing a nice job on the base pathage, taking advantage of whatever they can get. Brown will set. Has to be weary of the runner at 3rd. Gamber does a nice job to keep it in front of him and keep the runner honest, but a ball nonetheless. So a 2-0 count. Patchett, the second baseman, due up next, who had an RBI single his last time out. Ground ball right side, just under the glove of the outstretched Barker. It's an RBI single for Zach Gaspar to give Premier a 7-1 lead. This is the exact inning Premier needed when they started out with the bases loaded. They wanted 2 or 3 runs, and now they got their 3 runs. They lead it 7-1, 6 runs of insurance for their pitcher, and still the job's not done quite yet. Jeremy Patchett steps back in. The pitch, chop foul to the right side. Tried pulling back, a full contact swing on that could potentially have drilled it. So an 0-1 count now on the second baseman. 2 RBIs so far today. Runner goes. It's a strike. The throw down to end the inning is not in time as the ball gets out of the second baseman's glove. So had a stolen bag to Zach Gaspar's efforts today. Edward Ramos, the catcher, awaits in the on-deck circle for Premier. Patchett is the 7th hitter of the inning. Left side just gets through for a base hit. They will send the runner. The play at the plate is not in time. It gets past Gaspar. It's an RBI single for Jeremy Patchett, his 2nd of the game, to give Premier an 8-1 lead. Talk about an offensive explosion for the home team. So that's the 3rd RBI on the day for Patchett, his 2nd RBI single. Every at-bat he's had has resulted in an RBI. Premier leads it by 7 now. They might have just closed the door on B2 early on in the 4th. Plenty of power to the left side. Can't really see the bullpen, but if there's some action still out there for B2, someone got a little bit of a wake-up call. But nonetheless, Ramos, over 1 on the day with a strikeout, had an RBI walk back in the 1st. Looks to do some more damage. And that could be some damage. It goes to left field, a little too shallow as it's caught as Meacham trails over the back shoulder and retrieves it to retire the side. End of 4 in Brunswick. Premier, they had an offensive explosion, and it's exactly what they needed to do. They lead it 8-1. back on in the 5th here in Brunswick. Premier leads at 8-1. If you're just tuning in, I am Nathan Smee. The call for you this afternoon, it's a call to the bullpen for Premier. Interestingly, Rocky goes 4 innings, only allowing the 1 run with 7 Ks, so an impressive outing for him. And now for Premier, it's Michael Nero, who the first batter, he sees singles to left field, so Kirk Lambert does his job. The leadoff man is aboard for B2. But as just mentioned, Nero, a sophomore at Walsh, went to Padua High School so far in, I believe it was this past year, 13 innings pitched, 6 Ks, a 1-2 record, and then going back to his senior year at Padua, second team crown in 2023. Crown Conference, definitely one of the tougher ones in all of Northeastern Ohio baseball, with Walsh being the team usually dominating it. But this year, Padua, they had their share of the title, and Padua, their best year since early on in the 2000s. They made the Final Four and had their season at the hands of Baden on Friday, 5-0. Nero will come set, nod twice, and deliver. Ground ball right side, and it's snagged over at first. The throw to one is in time. An excellent job at first base by May to block it down, and an excellent cover from Nero to record the putout. So timely calls so Ramos can go talk to his pitcher, but what a play over at first base from Dylan May. So Meacham retired once again over at first base, and now Morris steps in. With a big first out nonetheless for Premier to record. It's just situational awareness. Nero knew where he needed to be. May did what he needed to over at first base and made the play. B2, how do they respond? Nero looks back and delivers. Curveball, swing and a miss. A hefty cut from Morris. An excellent breaking pitch. Nero peering in. We'll get the call from Ramos. Ramos, to his credit, has called an excellent game behind the dish for Premier. Throws back to 2. He might have him, but just to the opposite side of the bag. If the throw was to the left, he was dead at second. Once again, a good idea from him. Ramos saw the runner in quote-unquote la-la land between second and third, threw down, attempted to get him. That's exactly what you need your catcher to do, to have the confidence to make those plays. Even though he didn't, you got to applaud the effort on it. It was the right play to make, and he almost, to his credit, did it. The pitch from Nero, ground ball right side, hops up, a nasty bounce off the lip, goes to May for out number 2. He did a nice job to adjust and see it into the chest and glove. So now 2 away. Here comes Carson Petreka in for his 3rd cut. Had the web gem back, I believe, in the 4th inning. So a runner 90 feet away from scoring. B2 could really use that run. The pitch from Nero. That was the pitch for Petreka to pull on. He knew it. Nothing in 1 count. Nero finding his groove, will deliver. Just misses. They'll even up a good miss. It was definitely a close one, but still a challenging pitch. Evens it up. Nero will come set. The 1-1. Runs inside, almost clips him. It'll be a 2-1. A lot of close calls on the inside corner today. Once again, stay tuned after this ball game as we have game 2 of this doubleheader, as B2 will look and try and get one off of Premier to try and go back to 500. Premier with a win in this game would improve to 3-1, and at worst would go into their next game with a 3-2 record. The pitch from Nero, curveball, it's popped up in right center field shallowly and caught. A nice job in center field from Amos to adjust and get it, retiring the side. Middle of 5 here in Brunswick. Premier hanging on to their 8-1 lead, and ladies and gentlemen, we could have a run rule in effect. If Premier scores 3 runs, I believe the ball game ends. There we go. Now we're back on here for the home half of the 5th inning. Right now, it's an 8-1 lead for Premier. If they're able to score 3 runs this inning, the ball game will be over, and game 2 will start a little early, and we do have a call to the bullpen. Nick LaCursey will step on the bump for B2. Give you a little bit of information on the new pitcher, LaCursey. Sophomore at Hiram, who went to Eastlake North High School, so a little out of the Northeast Ohio quote-unquote range when you think about the big teams here, but still Eastlake North had a good year, held their own against a very tough Lakewood, arguably the best Lakewood team in the last decade, so plenty of respect to them, as he was part of a team last year who also competed. Anytime that Lakewood really competes against Eastlake North, you got to throw away the records, as that is a big rivalry out that way, but nonetheless, the Hiram man looks to settle things down on the bump for B2, and that will help. It's 1 up, 1 down as a putout is recorded. Roethlisberger to Barker over at 1. So now Hansy will step back on into the box for his 3rd cuts of the ball game. So far this afternoon, had that 6-4-3 double play and was put out as well, his 2nd time out. The pitch. It's a 0-1 count. Nice job by LaCursey to find the zone. For B2 next inning, if they can get there, Trevisano, Gamber, and Roethlisberger are due up. Swing and a miss. Now an 0-2 on Hansy. Maybe they say got a little bit on it nonetheless. Minimal contact at best. It's an 0-2 count regardless. In the on-deck circle is the first baseman, May. The pitch, ground ball left side, weak 1, slowed down by the grass. The throw from short is in time on the stretch. A nice job by Petreka to find the outstretched Barker for out number 2. Never underestimate the power of a stretch over at first base, as Barker, without the stretch, most likely had the play, but never could be sure. And as well, the grass infield definitely has been playing tricks on the infield. You saw the one bounce up to May. It just clipped the lip of the grass and just jumped right up. And a lot of these players are used to playing on turf fields with just one single level. No elevations, de-elevations, anything along those lines besides a mound. On this field, you have the dirt to grass, to then the dirt for where the catcher in the batter's box is. Then you have the mound, and then you have the grass slip to the dirt, and the grass slip out into the outfield. So you have a lot of changing, and as well to add on to it, you have the warning track, but that one really won't matter, as you shouldn't have really any grounders that are still grounding out into left, center, or right field. The pitch from LaCursey thought about it, instead it clips the corner. So nonetheless, it's a strike. LaCursey trying to get out of the inning. 1, 2, 3. This would be an excellent start to life for him on the bump. Does he do it? Yes, he does. Gets him to go. Doesn't hold back the swing. It's 1, 2, 3 for Premier as we go into the 6th with the home team leading 8-1. And as well, we'll take this opportunity to promote our next game of the week, which will be on Tuesday afternoon. Just pulling up the official schedule that we have right now for that game. Trying to go and find it. There we go. Avalanche versus Release Baseball, 4 p.m. first pitch over at Baldwin Wallace. To stay up to date on all the games that I'm covering, follow SmeeSports on Instagram and Twitter. To stay up to date on all of the Western Reserve Collegiate League action, follow the Western Reserve Collegiate League on Twitter at WRCLBB. And finally, subscribe here to the SmeeSports YouTube channel. I'll put on push notifications to be notified when I go live. My goal is to get to 250 subscribers by the end of the calendar year. And as well, assuming all goes to plan, on Monday afternoon, we should be able to have the capability to live stream on the WRCL YouTube page. So with that being said, Tuesday's game should be the first 2 over on that channel, so subscribe over there. We'll step aside for a brief moment and be back on for the 6th. Top six here in Brunswick. Premier still leads it 8-1. If you're just tuning in, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this afternoon. A lot of scoring back in the first. At the end of that one, we had a 3-1 ball game. Now we have an 8-1 ball game as Premier in the last couple of innings have added on some runs. The run rule could be in effect if in the next half inning they are able to plate 3 to no reply from B2. But as of right now, the Bulls are hanging on in and trying to force a 7-inning game heading into game number 2 of our doubleheader. In the box for B2 is Gamber. Gamber, the left-handed catcher, a sacrifice fly with an RBI and a walk to his name thus far. Ground ball go to the right side. May steps on the bag and will throw it around for out number 1. And the wind just continues to pick up here. Correction, that was Trevisano. And now here comes Gamber. But definitely surprising to see how much wind we've just had today and just the temperature not being overbearing with the heat. Grateful for the wind, but sometimes just been really picking up, as you've seen on your screen, I'm sure, at some of the delays that we've had. It just whips it to the left side. Wherever the B2 fans are just getting hit in the face with dirt. Ground ball left side, does it sneak through? It's snagged at short. The Jeter throw is not in time. It's an infield single for Dylan Gamber. It's an excellent throw nonetheless by Clavijo to try and do it. The trademark play made by the captain in the pinstripes many years ago. Just couldn't get it, but nonetheless, that's exactly what he needed to do. He kept it in the infield. If you're B2, you'll take the infield single. If you're Premier, you'll take the ball staying in the infield. And with the courtesy runner, I believe that will bring Trevisano back into the bases. Yes, he is. Already has a stolen bag today. Fouled into the netting, and 0-1 count to begin this at-bat on Shane Roethlisberger. Skidmore awaits in the on-deck circle for B2. The pitch. It's popped. It's shallow in left field, and it falls for a base hit. The runner will slip between second and third and go back to second. But it's 2 base hits in a row as Roethlisberger does his job. So potentially B2 could be starting a little bit of a rally. Now here comes Skidmore, 0 for 2 on the day with 2 Ks, but now is a good time for him to make an impact. Nero just trying to resettle back into the game. Got the first out of the inning on the ground out, but since then, 2 base hits. It's hit into left field. It might fall in foul territory, and it's caught on a line. They're going to tag the runners. The play at 3 is not in time. Almost there. An excellent job, nonetheless, by Masiak to get it for out number 2 and just barely miss out number 3. So now 2 runners in scoring position, and now up steps Jalen Sanders. 1 for 2 on the day, had a stolen bag and a base hit. If he can get 2 RBIs on the board, that would be huge for B2, make it a 5-run ball game. He might have, it just goes foul. The contact was there, just needs to get it a little bit more to the left. Nero just trying to get out of the inning unscathed. Heel set, keeps a close eye over on Trevisano at 3. Swing and a miss. Sanders had the right idea, just couldn't connect. He's down to his final strike. It's an 0-2 count. For Premier in the home half of the inning, May, Fleming, and Clavijo all due up. It's an 0-2 count here on Sanders. Needs a poke. The pitch. Swing and a miss. He cuts through. Nero gets out of the jam with a big K, and that will take Premier into the home half of the inning, needing 3 runs to end the ball game. Middle of 6 in Brunswick. Premier, Ohio still leads it 8-1. Bottom of the 6th here in Brunswick. Premier needs 3 runs to end the game right here, but otherwise it goes to the top of the 7th where B2 would have 3 outs to work with. Nonetheless, Premier in the driver's seat to improve to 3-1 on the year. They've done an excellent job today as they have really dominated this ball game. And now it looks like we might have a broken bat. Yes, we do. The one downside of playing in a wood bat league, you're going to run through a lot of bats. To go this far into the game without having a visible broken bat, pretty impressive. But nonetheless, the wood bat has definitely been an interesting adjustment. It's a lot better of a sound to hear when the ball just cracks off it than you hear the aluminum ding in the lower levels. Something about just the ball going into the glove, that sound, but right up there, the wood crack of the bat. But Fleming in the box here, 1 for 1 with a single and a walk to his name thus far. The Yellow Jacket looks to be on base as the leadoff man. Finds the corner this time around as Kersey, since coming into the game, has really settled down. 3 batters faced, 3 retired. Kersey deals again. Ground ball goes over his head. It's up the gut for a base hit. Nice bit of hitting from Fleming, who is now 2 for 2 on the afternoon. The leadoff man is aboard for Premier as they look to continue to add on the runs. That's all you need to do, is simple chop up the middle. As I said back in the first, expect a lot of contact to go up the middle. And there it is once again. Kersey did all he could, just tried to reach his glove up, but just couldn't hit it. Middle infield couldn't get to it either. It was just in that sweet spot over the second base bag. Nonetheless, Fleming's on base, and now Clavijo steps in once again. Off the bat, foul to the right side. He'll start down in the count, 0-1. He's had another great game, a lot of great games all the way around for Premier. 2 for 3 on the day with 2 base hits, and also flew out into a double play. So 0-1 count. Kersey deals. Misses outside. Still some action in the bullpen for Premier. They could bring in a closer, but would not be surprised to see them let Nero finish the game unless things get out of hand. The pitch. Ground ball, this could be 2. Step on the bag at 2 for 1. The throw to 1 is in time for the second out. An excellent stretch from Barker, but a nice solo run of sorts for Petreka. 2 outs. That goes down as a 6-3 double play. And on all technicalities, it's 2 up, 2 down. Kersey misses outside. It's a 1-0 count to begin this at-bat on Amos, who so far on the afternoon, I believe it's scored 1 for 2 with a walk, a stolen bag, and a fielder's choice. The pitch from Kersey, chop foul. Almost had that ghost hit we saw in the majors this past week where a player hit it, I'm not kidding, 0.1 feet. It just clipped the bat. It landed right in front of home plate. The catcher just tagged the runner. Might be the most weird hit ever in MLB history. Pitch from Kersey hits him. The curve doesn't break in time. That's a hard 90 for Jack Amos. So Masiak will now come back in. 1 for 3 on the day, but had that RBI double back in the first. It was a big impact play. If that's the only thing that he did in the ball game, it'd be well worth it to have him in the lineup for Premier, as that was the catalyst for the rest of the runs. Nice block behind the dish from Gamber, but a ball nonetheless. It's a 1-0 count. Once again, stay tuned after this for Game 2 of the doubleheader between B2 and Premier. That game, originally slated to start around 3:30, could still start around there depending how long the rest of this game takes. As of right now, I would assume we will once again have that 3:30 start and most likely be done around 5:30. Kersey will come set, checking the runner, and delivers. Misses low and outside. Gaspar 1 for 1 on the day with 2 walks awaits in the on-deck circle. Short lead over at 1. The throwback is not in time. LaCurci tried getting creative and tried to catch him off guard. With that short of a lead, there's really nothing you can do about it to try and get the runner. The delivery. Swing and a miss. He cuts. It's now a 2-2 count. Masiak looking to give the ball a ride. For B2, Barker, Lambert, and Meacham due up in the top of the 7th. They are the last 3 hopes the Bulls have in game number 1. The 2-2 clips off of Gamber, and that will grant second base to the runner. So Amos now in scoring position with a full count 3-2 on Masiak. So now a base hit should score the runner as he'll have the momentum as it's a full count 3-2. So he will take off upon the delivery. The payoff pitch. Smack foul right side. It looked like the runner, Nero, or correction, not Nero, it was Amos, was trying to stay stationary over at second. It's a full count. So this time you hear it. He realistically should break for 3. The payoff pitch, he doesn't. It's in the dirt. I mean, I get why he's not going to break. He's at second base, not first. I get why. At the same time, make the catcher have to double, because if you could try and then focus on the runner, he could mess up and you. A pitch, swing and a miss low. There we go, a little bit of a hiccup. We are back at the 10-1 ball game after that RBI double courtesy of Zach Gaspar. Patch it in the box now. So on the day, Gaspar 2 for 2, a double, a single, 3 RBIs, and a stolen bag. The pitch, chopped left side. It's in play. The throw to 1 is in time. An excellent throw from 3. B2 bends but doesn't break, and that will take us to the 7th inning. B2 needs 9 to keep their hopes alive. Back on in the 7th inning here at Brunswick High School. B2 down to their final 3 outs. Premier looking to get the last 3 outs they need to seal a victory in game 1 of 2 of this doubleheader. If you're just tuning in, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this afternoon. Been a great game so far for Premier, adding 2 runs in that last inning, courtesy of a 2 RBI double from Zach Gaspar, who's had an excellent day in the box. Nero, the paddle grad, trying to settle things down and win the game for Premier, as he came in for Rocky after the 4th inning. An excellent day on the bump for him, where he had 7 Ks, only 1 earned run. Nero will nod. Here is the pitch. Fouled into the glove. So Nero's done a nice job to battle back after a rough start to the at-bat. Nero wastes no time and deals. Freezes him for strike 3. There it is. B2 can't believe it, but it's 1 up, 1 down. 2 Ks in a row. I said it earlier when Rocky did it. One of the greatest feelings in all of baseball as a pitcher is strike 3 looking and the batter about to toss the bat. Still apologize, ladies and gentlemen, the internet taking a vacation here at Brunswick. Misses upstairs, but still the swing. Nero will set once again. Here's the pitch. Misses low. Nero has struggled to hit his spots throughout this ball game, but as of late has gotten a lot better and has found his stride. Swing and a miss, another hefty cut, this time from Lambert. After Lambert, Owen Meacham, the last hope for B2. The windup and the pitch from Nero. Right in the zone, gets in a freeze for strike 3. It's 2 Ks looking, 3 Ks in a row from Nero. Sound the final countdown. B2 down to their final out. But Nero has done an excellent job to finally find his groove with Ks, as he has 3 in a row going back to last inning. Now Owen Meacham steps in for his 3rd cuts. This could do it. It's popped into right shallow field, and it falls. So a base hit for Owen Meacham. He does his job in right shallow to bring the top of the lineup back up. And now here comes Devin Morris. He now could potentially be the last hope for this team. Nero will set and deliver. Misses off the plate. It's a 1-0 count. Two-way runner over at first base. The pitch. In the zone, that will even it up at 1-1. Nero still battling, trying to vary up his spots as much as he can. The pitch. Ground ball up the middle. This could do it. The shortstop steps on second base, and that will end the top of the 7th and the game at the same time. There we go. Now Premier knows the game is over. Your final score here for game number 1. Premier wins it 10-1. Your player of the game goes to Jacob Rocky. Had an excellent outing, 4 innings pitched, allowing only the 1 earned run, and also on top of it had those 7 Ks. We'll be back on in a little bit for game 2 of this doubleheader. Stay up to date in all the games I'm covering. Follow SmeeSports on Instagram and Twitter to stay up to date in all of the WRCL action. Follow the WRCL on Twitter, and finally subscribe here to SmeeSports YouTube and put on push notifications notified when we go live. Going to have plenty of freelance action coming up this summer, especially in a couple of weekends where we had the explosive fast pitch firework frenzy tournament. That one, I believe, beginning on June 29th and ending on June 30th. A couple of games across those days. Well, with that, we're going to step aside here and be back on in a little bit for game number 2. You can now switch over to that other link, which has the header game 2 on it, to watch that contest. Well, with that, I've been Nathan Smee. Thank you for spending this part of your Sunday afternoon with us. Have a good day, everyone.